So in this video I'm going to explain to you why the Ribbles had to go and I've changed to Trek. But first off, I'm going to stick you back on my chest because this feels sketchy. So last year when I changed the Dolan, just because I had a bad taste in my mouth with the Dolan, everything went wrong with it, with the first frame, and the second frame just weren't as good as the first one should have been. Really uncomfortable, didn't like it. So yeah, I got rid of that, stripped it down, and my plan at the time was to do a video because I bought myself a Ribble Endurance SL disc. I went up to the store, I think it's Clitheroe, to get sized up, and they said to me, "You're a large." So I took their word on it, got a large. The plan at the time when it got delivered was to make a video showing you building a bike, because I'd actually at the time recorded myself stripping down the Dolan, taking all the bits off it and cleaning all the parts up. Anyway, on the day of delivery, was really excited. Delivery come, took the forks out of the box, and the forks were all scratched on the back of where the brake caliper goes, so that just put a complete dampener on it. Anyway, thought I'd give them benefit of the doubt to get it right a second time. Phoned them up and they was really apologetic and said they'd send me another set of forks out with immediate effect and get them there for the next day, which they did. Anyway, when they come, there was for the Ribble Endurance SLR disc in matte black. Now, those of you that follow me on Instagram, or I've shown my bike in the videos before, it's black and blue with gloss with some grey on it. So then I had to phone them again. Anyway, they finally got it right. But at that point, I just couldn't be bothered doing a video to showing me building it. Now, the bike itself on climbs and flats was reasonably okay. Felt a bit stretched out. I had a 100mm stem on there, what they suggested. And at the time I had 42mm bars with 100mm reach on it. I just felt massively too stretched out. So anyway, in a nutshell, I changed the bars, changed the stem, tried different lengths, wider, narrower, all different types of things, more volume tyres, and could just never get comfortable on it. And the worst bit for me, my type of riding, is I may be slow going up the climbs, but going down the climbs, it's always where my confidence has been. But on that bike, as soon as you got it up to 30 mile an hour, it just felt really unstable. Now I had the local bike shop check it over to see if it had anything I'd done in building it, and he gave it the all clear. Nothing wrong with it at all. But every time I took it down hills, 33 mile an hour, 30 mile an hour, and the bars would just get really twitchy. And like I said, I tried shorter stems, longer stems, wider bars, narrower bars, and nothing seemed to work. So my thing was always going downhill. I was slow up the hills, going down the hills. I used to be fast when I was on my Giant, and with each bike I've just got slower and slower and slower. Now, when I was in Australia, some of you might have seen on my Instagram or on my Facebook page that I had a crash, which I'm going to go into detail in another video. But off the back of that crash, and also with my nervousness anyhow going downhill, it was just non-existent. Like, you're talking 20 mile an hour on some hills. On some hills I used to do 40 mile an hour on. It was a part of road riding that I really enjoyed, and with me not being able to go fast down hills anymore, it was either stop or look at getting a new bike. Now, one thing that was never going to happen was me giving up cycling, because psychologically, with mental health and all that, not that I've got it, but I do feel sometimes that things are getting on top of me, and cycling helps to clear that away. I'm just going over crack. So, as always, when I go virtual bike shopping, I have a few bits of criteria that the bike needs to meet. So one, over and above all and everything else, is comfort. 2, speed on the flats. 3, a decent climber. And 4, then I start looking at all the bling on the bike. So wheels, the cockpit, drivetrain, things like that, which is all minute really, but as a rule what I would like, but a budget just never meets it, is carbon wheels, Di2 shifting, carbon bars, all the bling bling stuff. So bikes that I looked at was the Cannondale Synapsis, which looks like a great bike, some great features on it, but just didn't shout out at me. They didn't say, come buy me, come ride me. It just looked boring. I looked at the Scott Addict at my budget. They actually did one with 105 Di2, but at £2,500, I just thought, where have the cutbacks been made? Because when you're shopping at a price point, they have to meet that price point, and the only way they can do it is by putting lesser components on there. And with the Di2 drivetrain, although they're a manufacturer, they will get discount when they buy in bulk. I just couldn't see it, how they'd reach that, and it did look a bit aggressive for me. And like I say, number one priority was comfort. I looked at the Giant Defies, same thing there, just didn't jump out at me. Then I went looking at all the boutique brands, and I just run away from them because of the experience I've had with Dolan and Ribble. And then the Trek, I looked at Trek Domane, which was more aimed at climbing and quite aggressive on the flats. I looked at gravel bikes as well, of all different sorts. And then the Trek Domane kept popping up. I was watching all the review videos, reading online, and they just kept popping up at me. So I decided to go to my local bike store and sit on one. He measured my height, measured me inseam, and said, yep, you're a 58. I just sat on it, and it felt really aggressive. It didn't feel right at all. But the guy at the bike shop was adamant that's what I needed to go on, a 58. And yeah, I just drove away from there just thinking, the bike's not for me. So I carried on my search, looking at different bikes, and again I just couldn't get myself away from the Domane. So a couple of weeks ago I decided to go to the Trek store in Manchester, and basically there was a girl in there. She come over and said, how can I help? And basically I just spewed this whole story on her. So she suggested trying a 56, because my inseam suggests that I'm a 56, but my height suggests that I'm anywhere between a 58 and possibly, you could argue, a 60, because I'm just above the height restriction for the 56, but my inseam is perfect for it. Anyway, I sat on it, and it just fit like a glove. I just asked them a million questions about the bike. So here she is in all her glory. I absolutely love the colour. I weren't too sure on the pictures online, but the cameras just don't do it any justice. The gloss, it's just so deep and shiny, it's beautiful. But yeah, this video is not a review, it's just a look over the bike and why I bought it. So it's in its original configuration. It's got the Bontrager wheels and the Bontrager tyres. It's got a full Shimano 105 setup on it. It's got 160mm discs front and back. It's got a carbon seat post. It comes with the Bontrager Verse saddle. It comes with the Bontrager bars. The comfort side of things is in there. and they're the ISO speed. Now, I'm not going to go into depth on this video of how it works, but it works. It's super comfy. It's just, the only way I can explain it is like, people say things are as smooth as butter. It's like a lumpy smoothie butter, so you still feel the lumps, but it smooths them out. It's weird, it's bizarre, it's really comfortable. And then the trick up its sleeve, which I like, is this bit, the compartment, which I think's great. But yeah, super happy with the bike. It's brilliant. And so far, but the cars keep coming. The thing I really like about it is that so far it's bringing my confidence back on hills. So honestly, just too many cars around. It's been dead quiet going up Crag. Yeah, it's the confidence it's giving me back going down hills. Now, I've only rode it twice. This is my third ride. I've managed to get up to 41 mile an hour, which over the last 12 months is an absolute record for me. So I brought it up to the top of Crag, and I'm going to do the descent down Blackstone Edge, and at the bottom of there, which is where we'll end the video, see what I can get it up to. My max speed currently on this ride is 33 mile an hour. It's an animal. Right, so let's get back on the bike and get down the bottom of Blackstone Edge. Forgot to mention as well that they recommend you can actually go up to 38mm tyres on these, and it actually comes with 32mm tyres. I'm going to do a review after been riding it for a while, and as well, just for the record, although it's in the video description, is the Trek Domane SL. It's a Trek Domane SL5 Gen 3. for that. The road's absolutely fucked. And I've got my glasses on. I tell you what though, I know we hear that word thrown around, we hear this road thrown around, bikes, but honestly it really is confidence inspiring. The person who really know is Lee, because probably for the last 12 months every time I come up here he's been waiting down here for ages for me, because I've been on my brakes all the way down. So that's the end of that video. There'll be more videos to come on the Trek. Just out of interest, I called a Trudy Trek. Yeah, absolutely love it. Brought back my confidence, bringing back my confidence, because I'm still not where I am. Going down Blackstone Edge, I was one of the fastest down there. Well, it'll pop up here anyway, and I'll show you what my last 3 rides, all the times will be popping up here. So yeah, let's see what kind of rides this takes me on. I will be keeping it, I will be doing some upgrades, and I'll be sharing that with you. So until then, take care, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.